Hey guys, what is going on? This is the GTA Wides guy and welcome back to another GTA 5 video. Now in this one what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at my custom mod for the Drift Yosemite, which is this thing that I've built here. Now obviously the Yosemite is this car which is already in game, and if you guys are new to my channel or you're not too sure what I do, is basically I'll take a car out of GTA, for example this Yosemite, and I'll go and transform it into something completely different, tuner inspired or whatever it could be. It could be a drag car, it could be a drift car. For example, this one is a drift car, which is actually based on Ken Block's Hoonitruck, which is going to be used in Gymkhana 10. So I'm going to walk you through what I've done to the car, all the changes that I've made, and we'll also get to customizing it, and I'll show you guys my custom handling file, which I used for the drift cinematic. If you guys haven't seen that cinematic, I'll leave a link to a card up in that corner, I think it'll be in. So you guys can go and check that out. A massive thank you for the support on that so far as well. Over 2,000 likes, which is insane. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this gameplay video. I'm probably going to do 2 videos a week like this where we split the cinematic up and then the gameplay one. So first things first, you guys have probably noticed the PewDiePie inspired livery, so that design that he has in his chair and all of his branding and stuff. I decided to use that. Now this is colorable as well, I'll show you guys that in a minute, so you can change the red color on it. Decided to do a bit of a spoof thing with the subscribe to PewDiePie thing and the T-Series Slayer. On the actual the Hoonitruck, sorry, that does actually say Gymkhana grid, so I just thought I'd throw the T-Series Slayer thing on there. Now there's a bunch of things that have changed on this car. For example, the whole interior is completely brand new. I don't know what's glitching out down there. I think it's one of the textures on the seat or something. It's got a whole custom interior that I've built from the ground up compared to the old Yosemite interior. It's a bit flat, you can't really see what's going on. I do think you can change the colour on the stock Yosemite of the interior, but you can, I have custom seats in here as well. You can change the colour of that. You can change the colour of the whole interior. It's all like metally and exposed. You can change that. It is red at the minute because obviously that's the primary colour of the car. You can also change the secondary colour, which is actually the cage on it. So the cage on the inside, you can see it's silver there. I've gone for like a metally look. There's also some secondary inside the engine bay, which I'll show you guys in a minute. But you can see that I've completely stripped out the back compared to the old one. Obviously there was just a bed, and you could customize the bed on the old Yosemite, but I wanted to completely gut it out and make it look like the Hoonitruck. So you can see we've got an exposed rear differential, we've got a suspension there. The suspension, I wanted it to compress, but unfortunately there was a bug with the exporting software, so I wasn't actually able to make that work. So it does like move around freely from it, which I'll show you guys in a minute. Now the actual differential does move around. I'll show you guys now. So if I just jump into this one, you'll see the rear differential and the axles will actually move with the wheels separately from everything else. So you'll see, like separately from the cage that's actually in the back, it will move separately. Much like you'll see on the Riata or some of the off-roading vehicles in game, I use that functionality to make that work. Obviously with it all being exposed, I thought that was an important part of it. You can see I've got the radiator there as well. The fans are on it. Unfortunately, the fans don't move. Now, I've just taken the hood off this one. You can see I do have another radiator in there, so it does actually have 2 radiators now. Obviously, the Hoonitruck does have an intercooler on the front, but because I've got these turbos that are just going straight into the throttle body, obviously I couldn't have an intercooler there. So there is 2 radiators on it, but whatever, it doesn't really matter too much. You can see we've also got the front differential or transmission there, which is just under the turbo manifold, and now that's a custom manifold that I've built, custom turbos as well. Now if I just start up the engine, you'll see that the pulleys and the turbo fans do actually move. Now you'll notice as well when you start the engine that the engine does shake, so it's got a little shake going on, so that will actually shake through the hood as well. So if we just turn the engine on this one, you'll see as soon as you turn it on, it's going to be shaking independently from the bonnet. Now you can see as well we've also got that custom cage with the actual control arms and stuff for the wheels. That is actually colorable. It is black at the minute. That is the secondary color for this certain car. And the steering wheel, the dials, the handbrake and stuff like that, that's all colorable, which I'll show you guys when we go into Benny's in a minute. Now, one thing to note, obviously, is this car is a Declasse, which Rockstar have actually used to base off of Chevy. And the Hoonitruck is actually an old Ford F-150. Now, Rockstar have used Declasse before to like mimic Ford stuff and Hoonigan stuff. For example, this drift hamper that Rockstar made, is actually a Declasse, which is a Chevy, but the actual counterpart in real life is a Ford Mustang. So I've gone and stayed true to that with what Rockstar probably would have done. Obviously this doesn't look too dissimilar from the Ford F-150, so it's quite and it turned out to be quite a fitting homage to it, and obviously I was able to put some of my own twists on there as well. So without further ado, we'll go and jump into Benny's. And of course we've got the all-wheel drive drift handling mod that I've gone and created myself. You guys can download that. There will be a link in the description as well to download alongside the car. But it will just come with this handling mod if you just want to install the car. Now you'll also notice on the back that there is a tow hitch, and if you watch the cinematic you would have seen that I did have a trailer on the car at some point, and it was hitched up with all 4 wheels spinning. Now I did see a tow hitch on the actual Hoonitruck, and I thought if there's going to be a tow hitch on it I may as well make it functional, so I did add an actual node so that you can tow trailers on it. And you can go drifting about with trailers if you want to. Right, so I have just changed the colours quickly so that you can see what's actually going on with the car when we modify it. Now the first things that you can do is I've actually changed the front bumper. Now on the old Yosemite there was a lot of bumper options, but I just wanted to try and keep it nice and simple. So we've got the livery bumper, which you can just basically paint the bumper and the livery will be applied to it as well. It removes the number plate so it looks like the Hoonitruck, and then we've also got the drift splitter, which is obviously completes that Hoonitruck look to it. Now obviously that is a livery bumper as well, so the livery will be applied to that one. Now we've also got the carbon skirt. The actual Hoonitruck does have some cutouts on it, but I just wanted to keep it nice, clean and simple. It does have a carbon texture on there. Now you can actually change the wheel colour as well. So these stock wheels, which are actually from the old Sentinel that I've done, like the first Sentinel, the Sentinel XS. But I went and turned it into like a 3-piece thing, and it's I just shrinked it a little bit and I put some of those cutouts on the outside to make it look a little bit more similar to the Hoonitruck, but obviously with an original twist to it. You can see we've got the studs on the outside. Something I normally do as well is make the studs colorable and the actual lugs, but I didn't do that this time around. I just wanted to keep it nice and simple, especially with the secondary color being very important for the actual cage. I didn't want it to clash with the wheels and the cage. So we'll go back and change the color in a minute. But if we go to exhaust, unfortunately we can't see it, but if you put on the twin turbo, now the car doesn't actually come with a twin turbo. You can see that I've put that as a mod option. That was because otherwise the actual turbos wouldn't work. So when you spawn the car in game, it will look like this without the twin turbos, which is obviously daft and not meant to look like that. So you just got to throw the twin turbos on for that stock look. Now we've also got the hood dump, which is a titanium patron exclusive part for my patrons that have done the titanium tier. So that's basically a dump valve. It will shoot flames out of the hood from the turbo. Obviously we've got those big exhausts on the side there as well, coming out of that little carbon outlet. And the exhaust does actually go straight through from the engine and right out the side of the fender, and there's no disconnect, and it does actually shake with the engine as well if you look closely enough. The fenders, this is actually a mirror option, so these are drift mirrors. These are for my Chrome patrons, or if you're a YouTube member you'll have access to this as well. These are the ones that are actually on the Hoonitruck, otherwise you'll just have those classic mirrors there too. Now onto the grille, we've also got this stock one which is all chrome and got that chrome trim on it, so you can put the cutout grille which blacks it out. We've also got the mesh pieces cut out so you can see straight through to the engine bay and see all the detail in there. You can see the exhaust manifold through the little gaps there as well. And we've also got some tape on the headlights. And then we've got the open grille, which is more similar to the actual Hoonitruck one. So you've got 2 options there, and you can see through both of them anyway. Now if we go to the livery, we've obviously got the Bitch Lasagna livery, and you can see that it is colorable, so that silver color under the car will actually be the color that goes on underneath the stripes. So we'll throw that on for now. Now the roof option isn't actually a roof option. This is for my nitrous tuners, the top tier on my Patreon. Now this will remove the actual fenders and go for that prototype look, so if you want it to look gutted and stripped out you can do that. We're not going to do that for now. We'll do that in a minute with another build. And we do actually have a lot of the old spoiler options for the standard Yosemite, so you can actually put a bed cap on there if you want to and make it look a lot more practical, and you can cover up everything that's in the back. You can do the secondary color, and you can even have a rustic one. Now we've also got the spoilers, so we've got a short tailgate one, mid tailgate, and a tall tailgate. So these are pretty similar to the ones that you do actually get on the Hoonitruck. And there's some other ones which have the livery applied as well. And then here's a custom one that I've done, which is available for my carbon patrons. And this is basically the one that is on the Hoonitruck, but it's got a carbon texture. And you can see we've also got those chrome suspenders there as well, which complete the look to it. And then we've got the chassis mount wing, which is a gold patron exclusive. You can see that the livery is on the edge there, and it's got a nice curve to it. Now this chassis mounting isn't one that's recycled from GTA. This is one that's completely original, one that I've modeled from scratch. And it's actually got quite a bit of detail into it. You can see I've got the cutouts on the back there, and it just mounts straight up to the chassis. You can do a suspension upgrade, but it does tuck in quite a bit at the back, so I'm just going to leave it stock. Of course, you want to throw the turbo upgrade on there. Just throwing the visual turbos on won't actually give you that turbo upgrade. Now, I've decided to go for more of that Hoonitruck look. I've gone and put those bronze-ish wheels on. I've gone for like a bit of a darker grey for that undercolor for the livery. Now, I'll just show you guys what the interior is like. We'll get some light going in there. Now, if we take a closer look at the interior, you can see that we've got a carbon dashboard there. A very race-inspired dashboard. All the dials do work, so we've got some analog ones and digital ones there, much like the Hoonitruck. And you can see that we've got a sequential shifter in the middle, and we've also got that 6-star handbrake. You can see that 6-star is engraved into it. And we've also got some bucket seats there, which are some custom ones that I've done. And if we just jump into the car, you can see that the dials all do work. And you can obviously see the hood dump there. The actual flames do come out of them. And you can see that the doors are all gutted out, and there's actually some straps to open the door. So went for that complete race car look. Now we can customize the colors in here. So if we go to the interior color, you can see that that will change the steering wheel and the dials. Now you will have to go for a lighter color to actually be able to see the analog dials. Now those dials do have some custom textures on. They've got the 6-star logo, and it says all the water and oil temperature and all those sort of things. There is a boost gauge on the left hand side, so you can see that when I rev it, that needle does actually move as well. And I think the other ones are water temperature, oil temperature, and fuel pressure, I think. Now if we go to the dashboard color, that does actually change the seats. So you can see that the actual, if you change the color of the wheel and the dials, that will actually change the stitching. So you can see there's some white stitching on the seats, but you can change the seats independently. So we're just going to go for a red with them. I think that will actually go with that secondary cage as well. And I think that looks pretty good. So that's pretty much all for the customization. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. And talking of the comments as well, I'm hoping to wipe a clean slate on what cars we do next. So what I want you guys to do is to comment down below what cars you would like to see next. And all the top actual comments will go into my Patreon and YouTube member votes, so that my Patrons and YouTube members will be able to vote on what car we do next. But obviously make sure to put as many ideas in there as possible, so that obviously the best ideas do get to the top. I will see them, and I will actually put them in the polls for people to vote on. Now the next car that I'm going to be doing is the Vapid Drift LA. I've pretty much completed it. I've just got to finish importing it. There's tons of parts for that, so it's probably going to take a while to import it, but hopefully I'll have that ready for you guys next week. Now just quickly, we'll spawn in a trailer. Oh, we've got a generator, and it does actually hook up. So you can see that you can actually have a big chassis wing with it as well. And you can go drifting with a trailer if you really want to. Now obviously the actual drifting is restricted by the trailer. You can't like do like full 180s and like reverse entries and stuff like that. But if you really want to, you can obviously just hold right on the D-pad. I'm not sure what it is if you're using mouse and keyboard, and then let go of it, and off the trailer goes. Now just quickly before we close the video out, I will actually do a prototype spec version of this, so I'll just gut it out and show you guys what that looks like as well. Now you can see I've just gone for a stripped out look, and to top it off we'll just go with a metal brushed aluminium to make it look metally and as if it hasn't been painted yet. And there you go. So to do that, you've obviously got to remove all the doors. You're using a mod menu, so you've just removed the boot, the doors, and the hood. Now I might make this available. Now I did try to make this actually customizable so that you could press something to actually remove the bonnet and all that sort of stuff, but it wouldn't actually let me do it properly, so might give it another go over the weekend to see if I can actually get that to work, so that it will be a mod option to just remove all the doors and stuff. But previously it will bug out and it will crash the game. Anyway guys, that is pretty much all for this video. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like and do not forget to subscribe. And a massive thank you to my patrons and my YouTube members for making these builds possible. Without them, I wouldn't be able to spend absolutely ages putting tons of detail into these car mods and bringing the Tuners and Outlaws concept to life. And if you guys do want to consider supporting the channel in that way, I do have links to my Patreon down in the description, or you can become a YouTube member. Just press the join button, check out the perks, or just check out the perks on Patreon, see what you can get for it, get some exclusive parts, some behind the scenes access and all that sort of stuff. Anyway guys, that is pretty much all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.